Greetings, chess fans. I have come back with a fresh video, but first I would like to congratulate every single one of you. The summer is officially here because outside here in Latvia there's finally over 25 degrees Celsius, and I hear also in Europe it's getting quite warm, not to say hot. So finally we got the weather we deserve. Anyway, I am back with a fresh video from the Decisive Rapid Tournament. This time it's going to be round number 6, where I was facing the leading Finnish grandmaster Tommy Nubek with the black collar. And I think this video also is going to be pretty important for you because I'm going to delve in some of the key moments of the Carlsbad structure. So the Carlsbad pawn structure is one of the most popular, one of the most researched pawn structures, not only at the professional chess, but also at the club level. And there will be some nuances that I will be focusing on in this video, why every detail in the Carlsbad pawn structure matters. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. Have fun. My opponent in the 6th round was Tommy Nubek. And I have known Tommy for many years. He is the leading Finnish grandmaster, and he was a big talent about 10-15 years ago, because he was on his way to become a very, very strong grandmaster from the Nordic region. So Tommy right now is rated 2556, I think that's his rapid rating, but this guy was 2650 at age 23, 24, I don't remember. So he was clearly on his way to 2700. And he would be playing in some games against Magnus Carlsen. If I'm not terribly mistaken, he even beat Magnus in one of the Olympiads. It could be Tromsø, if I'm not terribly mistaken. So he has definitely played against Magnus before. So anyway, all you need to know, he is an incredibly talented player who lately doesn't play a lot. And I think now the actual number 1 is Toivo Keinonen. I think so, at least according to the rating. I might be wrong though, so please don't quote me on this. And I have played against Tommy many times, mostly rapid games. And I know him to be a very creative player, especially in a time scramble. So he opened up with d4. And I'm thinking, there's no way against such a positional fine player I'm going to play Dutch in such a critical game. So I'm just going to play something positional, see what happens. He played c4, e6, knight f3. I'm thinking, okay, let's play a6. This is a move I've been playing already more than once, even in some classical games against very good GMs. So the big idea is I'm essentially killing the Catalan. If he plays g3, I play b5. I don't know what he does, like b3, bishop b7, bishop g2, c5, and I'm getting the perfect setup that black would ever dream from this position. And a6, b5 actually make perfect sense. So he is supposedly including knight c3, but now I play d5, and my idea is to play d takes on c4 and secure the pawn with b5. 99%, if not all 100, in this position, every single one of them takes on d5. Why? Because white says, I know that normally I'm not supposed to trade the c-pawn for the e-pawn and open up your light square bishop, but I'm going to treat your pawn on a6 as a waste of time. Who is right? We're going to see. So I play e takes on d5. Tommy played queen b3, and I'm thinking, wait, did we not already play this line before? And I'm starting to think, yeah, right. I played against Tommy Nubek the Blitz game in Tartu Blitz tournament a couple of months ago, and I completely forgot. And this is what happens when you don't write your games down. You forget them. They never existed. And during this rapid game, I'm trying to recall, how did the game proceed? I think I played c6. So I want to play some bishop d6, etc. He played e4. So the big idea is d takes on e4, he plays knight g5, bishop c4, and he develops a very deadly initiative. This is very, very dangerous for me. So I couldn't do that. So I take with the knight. He still takes with the knight and still wants to play knight g5. I remember queen e7, the important intermezzo move, and there's some total crazy theory here. And in that game, he played bishop d2. If I take with a pawn, he casually castles the long side and plays rook e1 and plays bishop c4 and plays rook g1. And according to an engine here, black is surviving if he plays king d8. White takes on e6 and engine says equal. So even if I knew all of this before the game, even if I knew this line, I would never, ever, ever in gazillion years go to this line. Because when you're playing Rapid and Blitz, all that matters is the temporary initiative. I don't have the time to figure out the precise moves in this position, just to hold the draw. Why would I do that? And in that particular game, I decided to take with the queen on e4. I retreated with queen on e7. I retreated, he gave a check. And this is how the game progressed. So there was trades, and he got back his pawn. And the position was in that equal, and we finished in a draw. This is how we played. And I'm playing this rapid game. And all of this is coming back to my memory. I'm thinking, bummer. I did not check the line at home. Because I did not write it down. So I'm thinking, okay, is there anything else in this position? Okay. Let me just play bishop b7. See what happens. I mean, how bad can it be? Now, I make sure that e4 is not going to happen. If he plays e4, I just take d takes on e4 and just castle short. So I'm going to be safe. So he played bishop g5. This is also one of the most important rules of the so-called Carlsbad structure, because this is, ladies and gentlemen, the Carlsbad structure. You try to bring out your bishop and then secure the center with e3, not the other way around. So he plays bishop g5, I play c6, protect the pawn, he plays a3. This is where my opening knowledge ends. I know nothing here. Like, I know obviously the typical moves. I know how both players are trying to carry out, so I'm supposed to organize a kingside attack. This I know, because I have these three pawns. They're looking towards the kingside, and this is usually like a direction where I'm supposed to play. At the same time, white has these three pawns. They're showing you the direction of the queen side, and this means white wants to play a4, b4, b5, play at the pawn minority. Like, this is a very basic understanding of the Carlsbad structure. And why would white do that? Because he wants to trade his two pawns for my two pawns and create a weakness on c6. So he has one long chain of the pawns against two chains of my pawns. So in theory, he should be doing better. So I know all of that. At the same time, I'm supposed to organize a counterattack at the king side. But what is the actual move order? And how does including a6 make my position worse? How does including a queen on b3 make his position better? Because now he's supposedly also blocking the b4 push. So I just played knight e7. He played bishop d3. I played castles. He played castles. All of this is pretty standard. The only difference here is that white doesn't have the choice. So those of you who have studied the classical Carlsbad structure, like, this is one of the famous ideas. Like, I'm going to show you. This is one of the popular lines. takes, bishop g5, bishop e7, e3, c6. Huge theory. And white very often has the traditional idea to play either knight f3 or the more modern idea to play bishop d3, knight e2, and play f3, e4. So where's the big difference? Big difference what happened in the game is he already has the knight on f3, he has the queen on b3, but I can commit it to pawn on h6. So I'm not really sure what's the big difference. So I play rook e8, he played rook c1, and yeah, again, look here, I was not really sure because I had multiple ideas. Like, there's a couple of maneuvers, like one of the typical maneuvers is knight e4. And if he would have had a queen on c2, this would be impossible. Because with a queen on c2, he would take on e4, and he would have the attack on the pawn on h7. But the point is, I was not really sure what happens here. He takes on e4, and I just quite could not understand if having the pawn on a6, not on a7, really matters to weakening this square. So I was thinking I go here, he plays something like queen a3, tries to exploit the dark squares, and where's my king's at attack? I cannot trade the queens. So if I trade the queens, he basically has a free roll at the queen side. Maybe play a4, a5, not a4. Of course, I would try to stop it myself. But this bishop feels a bit useless in these positions. And I'm supposed to attack, right? So this was idea number one. Idea number two was to play knight h5. Because he might want to escape with the bishop. If I would start with h6, he can play stuff like maybe here. And he can avoid the bishop trade, even play h3 and bishop h2 in some lines. So that's why I was thinking even knight h5 makes sense. Takes. He probably is going to go for some e4 push. And we would have something like this. So I want to play knight g7 and bishop f5. And somehow white is still pushing. So white plays f3, carries out the typical idea e4. Want to trade the bad bishop, and I don't know, maybe he rejects it and then tries to control the d squares like knight c5 and e4. I do not like it. So you see, I have to like evaluate all of these things in a very short time frame. So I play knight f8, which is like I know a typical move in these positions. So the idea is to put the knight on e6 and now play knight e4. But I think, to be honest, it was quite stupid. Like, if I wanted to play knight e4, I should have done it immediately. He took on e7. And, yeah, here, by the way, the engine says after bishop e4, knight e2, knight g5, white keeps the better position after queen b6, queen d6, and knight c4. But again, I think these lines are very concrete. Because if I was able to play queen g6, h5, h4, bishop h3, knight f3, toss every single piece at the white king, my position is looking pretty good. But concretely here, the back rank suffers. So I don't think I can do that. And clearly Tommy knew the idea that at some point he has to take on e4, he has to play knight e2, and then somehow dominate those dark squares. But in a rapid game, he just could not figure it out. And again, here you see, this is the big difference. Having me committed to a6 and him to queen b3 is very much in favor for white. Not for me. Because what he is doing, he is rejecting the original idea to play b4, b5. Go for the pawn minority, and he's simply trying to exploit the dark squares. So I was wrong. He did play knight b6, which is an accuracy. Now he took on e4. He played knight e5. I played knight c7. And I think I know what happened here. When he played knight e5, he was thinking he's going to go for some f3 ideas. Use the knight on b6 as a nice piece. Also maybe b5 idea to open up the position. My pieces are really awkward. But the point is, after knight c7, I'm about to play bishop e6 and f6, and he is losing the momentum. So I'm pretty sure originally he wanted to do something like this. Rook takes on c6. I saw this move with the idea that if I take it, he takes on c6. He takes on b8, and I just could not make it work for black. Again, with very limited time already available on the clock, like I had maybe a couple of minutes, not more. But I saw that I can take on e5, eliminate the knight. That threatens me to give the fork. He probably takes on c7, and I was thinking, in the worst case, if I find nothing, I can at least take on c7, I can play bishop e6, let's say he goes here. If somebody is playing here for something, I thought it's black already. Because I can still play h5, h4, go after the king, maybe activate my pieces, and the knight on b6 is pretty, but that's all it is. So I think this is what happened. He played knight b6 as a part of a larger sequence. He was thinking about d5 and f3, but after knight c7, he realized none of this works. So he had to take on c8. Since I cannot take with the rook because queen b7 is a problem, I had to take with the queen, and now he played f3. So the critical phase of the game arises. I'm very close to equalize the game. Rook takes on f3. And I played knight e5. So I gotta confess, I was feeling very ambitious at this moment because I had maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and Tommy was down to 1 minute. And this is usually my strategy when I'm playing against him, is I try to take over the game in a time scramble. But the problem is, I cannot play queen e6. I cannot close this annoying pin. He plays knight c6. I cannot take it. The rook on b8 is ganging, and after queen takes on b3, intermezzo check, he collects a queen. I can resign. So I cannot do that. And what other move is there? So I'm thinking I could play knight e6. But what if he plays some d5 stuff? My queen is still on c8 under potential pin. And I can, by the way, I didn't really check what happens here, like knight g5 and what? Maybe actually it's not really good for him. And the big idea, I want to play f6 next. Get rid of the knight. So again, as you can see, the key, even at the grandmaster level, is very often precise calculation on seconds. So those players who are doing this flawlessly, who can calculate lines very quickly on seconds, not assume things. This is why they're top GMs. And that's why I'm not a top GM. Because I'm a pretty good calculator, but I cannot do it so well. And very often, when in rapid and blitz game, it's more of a guessing rather than very, very clear calculation. So I play knight e5 because this move visually makes more sense. I want to play f6. And I was thinking maybe he's going to take on f7 here. Takes, here, e4. I saw this line. And at least I saw queen g4 that I'm not in trouble. Like, e takes on d5, queen takes on d4. There's no way I'm worse here. And he could give me some check on f1 and king g8 and takes on d5, takes on d4. I'm up a pawn. I'm pretty sure that Tommy also was somewhere in this line. So he instead played e4. I played knight f6. And basically all I did is one move to play queen e6. And here comes the move. He played rook takes on f6. During the game, I did not really think of this move as a big deal. I actually thought this move as a panic. Because he was like down in the last 30, 40 seconds or so. So I took on f6. He gave me a check. Like, okay, I don't want to play king f8. The king has to go to the corner. By the way, in case somebody's wondering about these situations, is it better to go to f8 or h8? Now, naturally, every single situation really is different, but in theory, you always want to go to the corner. Why is that? Because you expect the attack only from one side. This is why it's such a bad idea to keep the kings in the center, because you have to expect a front assault, an attack from the right, an attack from the left. If you're sitting in a corner, you're going to see the invader coming only from one side. So he played knight g4. Actually, here the engine says he should have played queen h4. I would take on e5, sack the pawn, queen e6. I activate the rook. And white is slightly pushing because of the double extra pawn, but objectively this game would finish in a draw. So he plays knight g4, and I'm thinking, there's no way this is working for white. Like, he is 2 moves away from attacking my king. Like, he needs to play queen h4, knight f6, or queen f4, knight f6, and I have 2 moves to make. And I had here like 3 minutes, and he had 20 seconds, 30 seconds, I don't remember. So I had more time. So I'm thinking, if I take on e4, and I take on d4, all I need is 1 move. So queen h4 is impossible, queen h3 is impossible. There's queen e5. I really want to make this work. Queen d8. It stinks. This looks pretty bad. Yeah, like knight e7, queen b8, or queen d4 doesn't feel good. Okay, I cannot do that. What else is here? The problem is also, look at this, my rook on b8. It's always under attack. I cannot play queen e6. The rook is ganking. So I'm thinking, okay, I cannot take the pawn. What move can I make? And actually, there was 1 move I missed. I could have played queen d8. And after queen d8, if he takes at f6, I take on d4. I simply missed this move. And if he goes here, now I take on e4. He doesn't have knight f6, or I don't know, maybe he does. At least I can always take on f6, give away the exchange. And this position somehow fizzles out to a draw. So this entire sequence was giving white nothing. But instead, I play queen c7 with an idea that queen h4, I will play queen f4. I'm trading queens. Like, if he goes here, 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 I thought I'm definitely not worse. And I have my chance to fight for the victory in this game. So I'm very, very ambitious at this moment. He played here. I played queen d6. And about here, I realized, wait, after knight f6, something is wrong. Like, I play rook d8, he plays d5, and I have nothing. So things escalated very, very quickly here. So he wants to play either queen h4 or queen f5, deliver a mate. I play king g7, he goes here. I play c takes on d5, and I'm praying, please take the pawn on d5. If he takes the pawn on d5, I play queen e5, queen a3, a trade off the queens. Maybe I can win the game. He played queen h4. He doesn't really care about the pawn on d5. He gave a check. And just like that, oh. I'm like, oh, what just happened? I couldn't really believe. I could not stop the mate on h7. So I resign. And, you know, after the game, like, oh, okay, I was not obviously upset. I was thinking, what happened? Now, what happened to this position? And I spent, without a computer, thinking in my head over and over about this position. And I could not find the defense, queen d8. And after the game also I talked with Tommy. I said, yeah, really nice game, etc. We talked about this moment. Did you really see what I should have done? Because I'm left with the impression that everything is bad. So at the moment I didn't really see this queen d8. And I thought that rook takes on f6, queen g3, knight g4 was a genius idea. Yeah, and Tommy, as usual, was very polite. He said, yeah, I was lucky, like I didn't see half of the lines, etc. But ultimately, I think he won a deserving game. Like, he played a fantastic game. And also, I think one of the greatest qualities for Tommy is that he's very good at these intuitive sacrifices. So in case, by the way, somebody's wondering if Tommy saw all of the lines after knight g4, no, I don't think so. I think he's maybe exaggerating a bit. He's saying that he's lucky, like he definitely saw some lines, but this is skill. Like, you recognize some patterns from similar games, and in this position, the knight on g4 is definitely worth the rook on e7, and especially considering that I cannot use the queen on c8 because my rook on b8 is unfortunately placed, the knight g4 idea works. So, there's that. By the way, at the end of the tournament, I'm jumping a bit ahead for the conclusion. There's going to be 3 more games. Tommy finished the tournament with 9 out of 9. So he was in a completely different league this tournament. And I think after this game, he decided if he can beat me, he can beat anybody. So he went on and finished all the remaining games on victory. As for me, this meant that I have to continue fighting for the second place. And I have to analyze these positions of the Carlsbad variation much more seriously. Never ever again I'm going to repeat the same mistake and come back to this line unprepared.